valve timing control. We're going to have to go here and do a cam angle test when we get the engine running. All the rest of these details should be correct. Now we do have a variable valve timing table. This is based on throttle versus engine speed. What we're going to do here is actually create two tables. We're going to do a switching function between the tables. Let's see here if it allows us to do that in here. We have an activation state, programming. Nope. Okay, we have two tables right here. We're going to do two tables, and we're going to switch tables based on, see if it gets the activation, based on our VTEC. So we're going to have a low cam variable cam target table and high cam variable cam target table. And what we're going to do here, analog, let me double check my notes, analog or aux 14 is when VTEC is active. So when that becomes active, we'll set our conditions here. So VTEC, right here, when that's active. So when VTEC turns on, variable cam target table 2 is going to be used. Variable cam target table 1 is going to be used when we have no VTEC activated, or low cam. This is how Honda completes the variable cam mapping. This is actually a little bit more accurate in terms of mapping. And we want to get this off of TPS on our axes here, so we'll click X. We'll go to our axis setup, and we'll go here and type in map. Let's set this up on map. And let's do initialize axes. This is going to go all to 200 kPa. We don't need to go probably in that kind of steps here. We'll keep vacuum from 0 to 100, and then we'll move in, let's do 40 kPa movements. That should be fine. And RPM-wise, we're going all the way up to 8,000. That should be fine for low cam. Now what I'm going to do is zero this entire table out just to get things going here. Just to zero this out. And we want to mimic the same exact table here in our high cam. Now in this particular table, we're going to go here and do the same thing. We're going to go set this to map. Configure this. And we'll do initialize axes. And we'll do the same thing. We'll move in 40 kPa. Once we get to boost, 100 kPa and higher, we'll start to go here and just populate like this. And this table only goes to 7,000, so I'm actually going to stretch this table out just a little bit more. We're going to go out to, let's do 8,000 here. That should be good for cam target. Okay, so now we set this up for low cam, high cam. It'll transition when we start to look at that. We still have to set this up and check all this. Next tutorial, we'll actually look at that, kind of get things going with this. That should be good. Let's go and save the file here quick. So file, save as. Now we're not doing drive-by-wire setup. We're not doing launch control. Let's just make sure these are off. Now it looks like this is actually activated. So I'm going to go and just disable this right now, just so it doesn't create any problems. Make sure drive-by-wire is turned off. Okay, traction control, that's off. We want to make sure that's off. Gear cut, we're not doing anything with. Now flex fuel, we are going to be doing a flex fuel based tune. So in here, we need to pay attention to some specific things. Now under the injector setup, this is the exact details that we entered in the beginning here under the basics tab. This is accounting for all of the fuel modeling that we have going on, particularly for the fuel injectors that we're dealing with. Now down below here under the multi-fuel, this is now going to take into account looking at if we're doing this at a full blend of ethanol range from 0 to 100% content. This will look at the full scale. These values will represent, looking at this, and just so we're very clear here, these values, the injector setup, and all of our details in the fuel main in terms of the density, temp coefficient, and our Stoich ratio. This is pure petrol fuel, so no ethanol in the fuel. And then when we go back here, we jump into our layout, let's go to flex. This multi-fuel option is going to account for all these additional details for 100% ethanol, so pure ethanol. So we're going to be able to go between 0 to 100% scale. Now in order to do this, we need to go and populate this data. The first thing we want to do is just make sure we're matching our injector data here the same between petrol and ethanol. So we're going to say here in the cc per minute, 1725. Now the density and the temp coefficient and the Stoich. Now the Stoich ratio for pure ethanol is 9 to 1. Now this is where it's going to be acting as a multiplier. So 9 to 1 here. 14.7 is pure petrol. 9 to 1 is pure ethanol. It's going to take a look, depending on the content blend, it's going to be taking a look here at our multi-fuel blend ratio table, and it's going to blend between the two Stoich points. It's actually going to look where it's going to be at in the Stoich point. What this is going to do is act as a background multiplier. It's, if we take a look here, the difference between 14.7 and 9 to 1, in terms of a percentage multiplier, it's about 40%. So if we use the blend table and we're going between the two Stoich points, that's going to essentially act as a multiplier. So idle, part throttle, wide open throttle, it'll globally multiply everything out by the percentage of difference between the stowage point we're at, and the stowage points will get looked up based on our fuel blend ratio table. Hopefully that makes sense. It's going to act as a hands-off approach in tuning our fuel. It's actually really straightforward and really simple. So we need to go here and just account for now the fuel density.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.